Hi, I'm Shannon from houseimprovements.com. I just want to show you how to texture a ceiling. So we're going to use a spray-on texture product to turn this smooth ceiling into, we're going to spray what they call an orange peel type finish today. So the gun we're going to be using is this pretty basic hopper gun. It hooks just onto any compressor that you have. You need a pretty decent compressor that has some pretty good volume. So it's air driven or air powered. The hopper here is where you place your mud, which I'll show you in a minute how to mix it and everything. So when you turn the valve on, the air comes through the gun, you squeeze the trigger, which opens a little valve inside here to let the air and mud through the hole here. Now on this particular gun, it has an assortment of different holes, which will give you a different look or different pattern, different splatter, depending on what you want. So one of the first things, if you're using this type of gun, or most of the other ones, they have some kind of adjustment here, because you can rent these, is you may want just, a piece of cardboard or something to practice on, just to get an idea of how the texture is going to look until you play with this a little bit and get the right look you're looking for. Another adjustment is changing the volume or the air pressure on your compressor. I generally run it around 30 or 40 pounds, and from there I just adjust this nozzle here depending on what texture I'm looking for. I've got it set. I use this particular setup for most of the textures that I spray, but like I said, depending on the look you want, the sky's the limit almost. You can play around with anything and get different looks. So like I said, we're going to do the orange peel type texture. Another popular one is knockdown, where you would do basically just another step past what we're going to do today. So you'll see us texture the ceiling and we're going to leave it. We aren't going to do anything else with what's left on the ceiling. If you're doing a knockdown, you'd take a 12 or 16-inch trowel, and you would then run over the ceiling, and basically, you don't want to push real hard and flatten it right out, but you want to knock, instead of having bumps, you're going to kind of have flattened out, smeared kind of areas up there. Smeared doesn't sound like a very good description, but excuse me. But anyways, that'd be how you'd knock it down. It's just really one more process from what we're going to do today. Again, it's really your imagination. You can do friggin' near anything with this thing. You can spray up your texture. You could take different brushes and put in swirl patterns if that's what you want. A lot of that stuff is kind of a little bit old school right now. I don't know, maybe in some areas it's starting to come back, but your imagination is pretty much the only limit on what you can do as far as texturing. It can be even used on walls as well, but today we're just texturing the ceiling. So I think that's the basic idea with the gun. So I'll just set that to the side for now. For preparation before doing this project, what I generally do is I will prime and paint the ceiling out. So this ceiling has a coat of primer and 2 coats of paint. And you can paint it again after, or you could prime it, spray it, and then paint it, whatever you want, depending on how durable you want the finish to be. If it was say on a wall or something, well, for sure you're probably going to want to paint after you've got it sprayed on there. It'll be more durable. On the ceiling, I just generally don't paint it. Paint the actual texture unless the customer wants it that way. But okay, so we've already done the ceiling as far as prepped it, ready for spray. Next thing we did is we ran around the room with I think I put it away already, just a tape and paper gun. And we ran a strip of, I don't know what that is, 8 or 10-inch paper all the way around the room. And it's taped right at the ceiling line where the wall meets the ceiling. So this is just to keep us from having to clean the walls off, because you will get some splatter other than just on the ceiling, especially when you're trying to get started here right at the wall. So we ran around first with that. Then normally what I would do if I have a helping hand, I would run that paper around, and then my helper would just have to walk around while I'm spraying with a piece of cardboard that basically is just a shield to protect the wall. So they would just rest it against that paper. The paper just allows them not to have to get up right tight to the ceiling. And they would just kind of follow me around as we go. We do the perimeter first, and then I can do the middle without any protection on the walls. But in our case, because my main help is behind the camera, the other way you can do it if you're on your own is hang poly down to protect the walls. It's not really a big deal if this gets on the walls. You can see here that we've first coated the walls with paint, I mean. So even if we get some random texture on the wall, we can wash it off easily, as long as we don't let it sit overnight. If it sits overnight, it'll still wash off, but it'll be a lot more trouble. So basically we'll spray the room out, rip everything down, make sure all the walls are clean, and then we'd walk away and let it dry. So that's kind of your prep work. Now, the product we're using, in my area anyways, generally comes in a box, much like basically any drywall mud that you would find. This is actually for textured ceilings. Lots of people just use drywall mud, and to be real honest, I don't know what the difference is. 100%, this may be more durable, I don't even know. But anyways, this is the actual spray light ceiling texture. So it's in that box inside a bag. So what I would do, and I've already got some in the left over from another bit of sealing that I did. So I've got some in this pail here already. Now it's kind of, I put a bit of water on the top just to seal it up, to keep it stored. So you're going to want to dump your mud into a bucket, and then most times you're going to want to thin it down with some water. And again, the amount you thin it is going to depend on what type of finish or what type of texture you're wanting to do. I like to thin it down to where it's, I don't know what you'd really compare it to. It can't be just runny like water, but it's not as thick. It's not quite as thick as, say, peanut butter. It's just a little more runny than that. So if I just take a little bit here out of the bucket, I'm just mixing up what water was on the top. You can kind of see it still wants to stick pretty good on my trowel. I'm just going to give it a bit of a mix with the electric mixer here, just to mix in that water, and then I can see if I'm going to have to add any more water or not. So. So you can see it's actually not bad. I'm just going to add just a touch of water. So I'm just using clean, cold water. I'll just mix that in. Yeah, that's about right. I don't know really what to compare it to give you an idea, but like I said, you just don't want it to be able to run like water at all by any imagination. Stay there. Okay, so we've got that done. Basically, I'm just going to pour it into my hopper once I'm ready. I've just got to move some of this stuff out of the way, and I'll be ready to basically start putting it on the ceiling. Okay, so I moved some stuff out of the road. If you're using this type of hopper, I just lay one of my stools on its side, and it kind of holds the gun up. It just makes it a little easier to get at, so it isn't dumping out on the floor. So I'm going to dump some mud in there. Something else I didn't maybe mention before, I can't remember. It's a good idea to wear some safety glasses. Not that this stuff really can hurt your eyes, but you definitely could get some splatter into your eyes, so it can't hurt to have them on. So I'm just going to pour some of this in here. You can see it's fairly runny, but it's still thick enough that it isn't water. I mean, you need it thick enough that when it sprays up there, it'll stay there. So basically, to start out, I'm actually just going to shoot a little bit right here just to make sure everything's working properly, and then I'll go up top and start working my way across the room. Just trying to think if there's anything else to really tell you. You don't need to get the gun right up close. I'll end up holding it, something like about this, I don't know, 2 feet or something from the ceiling. You don't have to get right up there. Again, that'll just change the look of the texture, how it blows on. So we'll just do a bit of a test run here and see how it is, and if it's good, I'm just going to keep on going. And again, once you go, you know, it's just whatever look you want, you know, as far as how thick to put it on, or, you know, how thin to put it on. So. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I actually might go down one hole size. It's a little bigger blobs that I'm kind of looking for. Maybe just try that and see what it looks like. Maybe got it a little thinner than normal. So let's see. That's a little better. You can see how, you know, I had a lot bigger blobs here, and it's a lot finer there. That's more the look that I'm kind of looking for here. So I'm going to go ahead and just start going. I just realized I've got this elbow on the wrong direction. That's why I'm having trouble holding it up. So I'm just going to turn that elbow, and then we'll come back and finish that up. Okay, you can see we turned things around here. I must have been spraying a wall last time I used it, so this will be a lot better for the ceiling. Okay, so I'm just going to go back at it and finish across this half of the room. Okay, so I don't know if the camera can see that good or if it needs to come right underneath or not, but this is a little heavy of an orange peel. It's maybe a little bit more of a texture than I was really going for, but it'll work for here. So you can see, once you get going, you can actually move pretty quickly. Box of that mud, again, it really depends how heavy you're putting it on, but box of that mud will do at least a couple bedrooms usually, maybe even a third bedroom. So you've seen me kind of go over it, and then I just went back and I was just kind of looking for spots that didn't look quite the same or a little thin or whatever. Gave another little shot just to kind of fill it in. And right now it looks a lot different because of because it's wet. It's a little darker. Once it dries, it just kind of turns the same color as the flat paint on the roof. And just gives it a little bit of a different look. So it usually won't take very long for that to dry. You know, it'll be pretty much dry within half an hour, just depending on the conditions of the house you're in. We're in a basement here, it's a little cooler, so it might take a little longer. Within likely about 10 minutes or so, if I was doing a knockdown, I could go along and hit all this and knock it down. I would spray the whole room out and then wait 10 minutes and start knocking it down. You don't want it dry, but you don't need it too wet or it really just smears and you're just plowing it around. So I think that's really the basic part of texturing a room. Like I said, you can do the same thing on the walls. play with the dial, play with your air pressure a little bit, and don't wear anything that you don't want to get dirty. So I think that's all I can really show you. If you like, you can check out our website at house-improvements.com. On there we've got some articles and different things. There's links to our videos or our YouTube channel, and there's also the forum there as well that lots of people are coming on there and asking questions. So if you post something up, I pretty much will get to you within a day. Then also you found this on YouTube. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and catch all the videos that we have up there as well. And if you like this, please give it the thumbs up. Thanks a lot.